Assalamualaikum. Today we're going to present about the one student one sport policy.
Assalamualaikum. Firstly, I will introduce. My name is Muhammad Syafiq bin Supian. Okay. Today we will present about one student one sport policy. Okay. As we know, sport is very important for us to remain healthy and stay away from any disease. On the 17th March 2010 morning, the Deputy Prime Minister, who is also our Education Minister, and the main committee of sport development in school at the Parliament House as the meeting to bring back the glory sport in school through the implementation of the one student one sport vision. Okay, which means a student must be involved at least one sport in school, and the student with poor health could be exempted. For disabled students, the Education Ministry will take steps to ensure that they are not left out. The Ministry will be seeking cooperation for the Paralympic Council to provide proper amenity and training support. Okay. This meeting also discussed about other matters in sport. The Education Ministry will take steps to improve the current infrastructure in schools, such as playing fields, sport facility and equipment. Secondly, the curricular activity will account for 10% of the student for passing grade, and 5% out of 10 will be foster involvement in sport. Sport have many benefits in health that can be derived from it. Also, skills such as strategic thinking and teamwork can be learned. Okay, most people have benefit from participation in various sports, but most voluntarily participate in the sport activity of their choice. Sports serve excellent physical exercise. Those who play sport have a more positive body image than those who do not. Sport also very beneficial for the development of social skills. Sport teach you interact with people, communicate with them and collaborate as a team. Okay. Policy problem. The policy program is ineffective. Malaysia spent a lot of money and expertise on its high performance athlete. Program help top athlete perform better in training, recover from injury, train the mental side of performance, and aid athlete and coach in other areas as well. This is money that is well spent indeed. If the government is going to spend money supporting sport, this is where this fund belong. Okay, desktop performance have already reached upper level of performance in their sport or are close to it. We should keep in mind that high performance athlete emerge from youth development system, and the effectiveness of this system determine the quality and number of the athlete who reach the top. Okay. The more comprehensive the youth program, the more robust the high performance athlete will be, and the better they will be able to perform. Okay. The next policy problem is underperforming sport association. Okay, it means so much money to go around on an sport association that consistently underperform should not keep receiving allocation from the Ministry of Youth and Sport. But here's the things. How do you define underperforming? Okay, by KPI that development issue, the ministry could incentivize the creation of large developmental programs, and by making annual allocation dependent on achieving this development KPI. The sport infrastructure in Malaysia will grow and improve. Okay. Okay. It seems that performance is tied solely to result in national or international competition. This has no direct effect at the developmental level. The ministry must establish some way to measure developmental progress in line with proper long-term athlete development principle. Okay, the lastly policy problem is governance. The Malaysia sports system done after 2012 Olympic Games, several researchers found areas where Malaysia was following recommended guidelines for creating an elite sports system and areas where further development was needed. Okay. Although Malaysia athletes were performing well at the elite level and government provision for sport was good, the weakness in the system was found to be the lack of the development in the sport association themselves. Okay, that's all from me. I will pass to my friend. Thank you.
My name is Safin Azmi Muhammad Zailal, and I am going to present about the objective and the goals of the policy. The one of the objective and the goal of the policy is to get the student involved with at least one sport throughout the year, with the hope that all students, including bookworms, computer gamers, will get out of their comfort zone to be active physically. In addition, with this involvement, new talent will be discovered, groomed and trained to compete at the higher level. The purpose of the policy is to move toward a balanced development of body and mind of our young ones. At the same time, it's hoped to instill health and vitality into the sport culture in school. Secondly, is to develop the character and self-esteem, discipline and moral value. All of students can develop their character to be more talented and experienced. Students that not just excellent in education but also excellent in some sport activities such as badminton and football, the most popular sport in Malaysia. Thus, they can also build self-esteem, discipline that can bring benefit to them in order to become a successful person in the future. Lastly, is to foster racial unity. It is because in Malaysia there are three major races, which is Malaysia, Chinese and Indian. With smattering with other ethnic groups, different races have to cooperate with others member with different race. This will make the participant do some effort to perform the best. It is when we play sport that we will forget about our political difference. Instead, we embrace the spirit of patriotism and unity among us through the sport. The result is can create a love bond with each other, and it could lead to peace and harmony of society in the future. Next is the actor and the creation of the policy. The first actor is the Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin. Malaysia Educational Ministry, which is Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin, has launched One Student One Sport policy in 9th of June 2011. He has appointed as the Educational Ministry since 2009 to 2015. In an article taken from the Star online dated 18 March 2010, the Deputy Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin said the sport will be introduced to school timetable in year 2011 as a new subject. He also mentioned that under the One Student One Sport policy, secondary school students will get 90 minutes a week to play a game of their choice, while primary pupils would spend 60 minutes weekly. He emphasized that the physical education subject would still be taught as it had specific syllabus. Next is the Ministry of Education in Malaysia. The policy is being introduced in the hope that we can produce more students who are well balanced in both academic and sport. According to the Malaysia Educational Ministry, the main aim of the policy is to have a healthy social school environment As written in our national sport policy, the Ministry of Education will provide time for physical education for all pupils as well as develop and coordinate sport activities in school, including the development of leadership qualities in sport and physical education. In line with this aim, with the One Student One Sport policy has a few objectives, which is to provide platform towards sport excellence and help to provide balance between academic and physical needs and many more. Lastly is the Ministry of Health and Ministry of Youth and Sport. One Student One Sport policy also help to fulfill joint working objective between Ministry of Education and other key government agency like Ministry of Health, which involved in health issue, and the Ministry of Youth and Sport, which is involved in the development for sport for all and sport for high performance. Health issues such as obesity and many more can be avoided because the student involved with plenty of sport activities that could bring the benefit to them and improve their mental health. That's all from me.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Amir Rushdi bin Runaizu. I want to present the implementation or strategy of the policy, which is One Student One Sport policy. Firstly, One Student One Sport policy requires that every student participate in at least one sport activity at school. One Student One Sport policy is required for year 4 to year 6 in primary and transitional levels, level 1 to grade 6 in secondary school and preschool. Throughout year 3, students are encouraged to participate in the program based on their schooling ability. The school must hold competition between grade classes, sport houses, dormitories, and the school sport club. The participation of students in the state school council, state sport council, and the international sport school council is One Student One Sport policy. Secondly, year-round school sport program includes sport of all and sport for the well-being. A student is expected to be actively involved in school sport activity throughout the year. The proposed sport activity are as follows. Firstly, public sport program. For example, sport exercise such as across the village, sport or game, race and field cross-country game, race and field championship. Secondly, sport and game club. For example, 90 minutes a week for secondary school and 60 minutes a week for primary school, or multi-game training and modified game. Thirdly, internet competition on all year. For example, competition between sport houses, a level class match between in dormitories. Next are the games, for example, district school sport council, state sport council, Malaysian Sport Council, international competition. And lastly, other sport activities. Therefore, the performance of a One Student One Sport policy is based on the following approach. Firstly, sport activity means engaging and actively participating in sport and games training under the supervision of the school. Sport offered under One Student One Sport policy should include activities that involve physical movement. Secondly, school sport activities are held throughout the year based on sport house activity and sport class. The annual school sport championship, which is preceded by cross-country championship and a school year in a core sporting activity in the school. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and very good morning everyone. Today I'm going to talk about evaluations of effectiveness of one student one sport policy in Malaysia. The evaluations of this policy we can see from three things. The first one is from the program, total program implementation in the school. The second one is guides, physical activity, sport and curriculums, PAJSK, and the last one is achievements of the students that involved in this policy that represents Sport School of Malaysia, School MSSM. Okay, we go first to the first one is the program implementations. The in this policy, the school have implements many programs such as sports club meetup activity program across the countryside, sports bar, school level game competitions and field competitions in order to realize the one sport policy. Not only that, according to source sport to the sport departments of the Ministry of Education of Malaysia, the total number of 6,448 from primary school have performing sports club meetup activity, and 8,712 from primary school and 8,714 from secondary school performing sports bar. Okay, moving to the second one is guide physical activity, sport and curriculum, PAJSK that come from physical education and hub, PJK. There are three components that include in this, which one is SEGA and BMI curriculums. They include three things: sports club, uniform activity that the student must involve in these three. The second one is extra curriculum, is the student wants to involve or not. This is important for the students because the student need to join it because it represents 10% merit for especially for the secondary students to further study in public higher learning educations, IPTA and public university. And not only that, there is also importance for the primary school students for continues to boarding school or mata rendah sains mara MRSM. So it's very effective, really effective for the students in order to have them in continue their study. Not only that, the achievements of the student from the policy that they also represents the School of Malaysia, School MSSMs. Not only that, the achievements that they get from the presents MSSM is they book achievements in Asia, sport at Palembang, Indonesia at around 38 from the student athlete. And not only that, they also get silver and bronze medal in that competitions. They also represent 8 from the total hockey team, also wins the gold medal badminton competition at Youth Olympic in Argentina. After I said the three evaluations, we can see that this policy is actually successful for the student, especially for in creates healthy students in our country. I think that is from me. Thank you for questions for the evaluations of effectiveness of one student one sport policy in Malaysia. Thank you very much.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Akil bin Jafri from group AM1102A. So today, my team have choose the policy one student one sport policy to do this group assignment. Okay, my part, I'm gonna telling you the policy's strength and weaknesses. Okay, the one student, one sport policy introduced by the Minister of Education in 2011 has many benefits for students. This policy is important for sport development programs in school. One student, one sport policy. This is a two-pronged effort to complement the scope of school sports development by producing students who are physically, emotionally, spiritually, and intellectually balanced. The policy is said to be able to increase student engagement and participation in at least one sport or school game. Okay, first benefit or first strength is students can fill their free time with useful activities. This is because students who engage in sport activities can avoid doing unprofessional things and engaging in negative symptoms. For example, students can participate in sports or games such as football, badminton, sepak takraw, volleyball, basketball, and so on. Such activities are of great benefit to them. So, by participating in the program, students can use their time effectively and avoid unhealthy activities. Second, this policy allows teachers to tap into the talents of their students in sports or games. I mean, through student-led sports, their talents can be nurtured with the guidance and training of teachers, because if they are not broken down, they can be successful. These trained students can represent the school as football, hockey, badminton, squash, bowling, sports, and more. Students can demonstrate their talent and potential and work hard to achieve success. It proved that this policy can develop the talents of the student in the sport or games to enjoy. Okay, third, in addition, the program promotes a culture or practice that promote health among school students. This is important because students who are active in sport activities will keep their bodies healthy and fit. When their bodies are healthy, their brains will be intelligent, and students will be able to take lessons and achieve academic excellence. In other words, these healthy and intelligent students will be able to answer the question in the lesson well. This proves that through this program, students will be healthy and fit and achieve excellent test results. 4. This policy aims to encourage the participation of every student in sports or game activities. This is because every student has the opportunity to get involved in the game or sports they enjoy. In addition, this indicates that no student has been neglected or excluded from participating in school games or sports. Indirectly, the school can identify student talent in sports or games, and the talent can be polished and trained to represent the school. Therefore, it is clear that this policy can stimulate interest in engaging in sport activities or games that interest them. Okay. Through this policy, effort to foster the spirit of sport and racial unity among students will become a reality. By engaging in specific sport or activities, students will appreciate the spirit of sport when engaging in a sport or games. For example, the student also had the opportunity to mingle with students of different races such as Malay, Chinese, Indian, Iban, and Kazakh in a game or sport. This allows students to interact more with team members of different races. The policy, he said, could shape students who appreciate the spirit of sport and racial unity in the country. Okay, it is clear that the one student, one sport policy is a new transformation that has many benefits, many strengths, many can give the students to our country education systems. Therefore, parents and all involved should understand and support this noble cause. Without this cooperation from all parties, of course, the pure desire will not be realized. So all parties need to work together to realize this, like one water because of sword, one people because of agreement. With this integrated effort, we hope that our students will be more active and enthusiastic in the field of sport for advancement and excellence of national sport. Okay, the next part, I'm gonna telling you the policy weakness. Sport and schools are inseparable. The one student and one sport program was introduced in 2011, but there have been pros and cons since it was introduced. Despite the ministry's pure intention to produce healthy students. The first weaknesses of this policy is the reason teachers are not engaged in co-curricular activities is when teachers feel that the co-curriculum is wasting their time. Teachers stay away from school and have too much responsibility. The availability of teachers who handle co-curricular activities lack the knowledge and skills in the field that the school has set. The co-curricular implementation of the school was not very encouraging or did not receive the full support of the various parties, especially the teachers, resulting in students being less interested in participating. Second, the obstacle or the weakness are seen from the perspective of different adults. These students are too concerned with the examination of co-curricular activities, which are also part of learning disabilities. They do not want to be involved in co-curricular activities. His research was supported by Lin Yan in 1991, who found that the main factor was the lack of student involvement in co-curricular activities, especially sport activities, because they lack a sport spirit. They also consider sport less important and consider education or entertainment more important to ensure a better future. Most students are not interested in participating in co-curricular activities, especially sport, because there is no satisfaction due to lack of sport facilities, sport equipment, and so on. In addition, there are several other factors such as those described by Muhammad Suzli 1987 in his study. His research found that the school understudy had inadequate financial problems and poorly structured and systematic scheduling systems. Student participation in co-curricular activities is mandatory for boys and girls in all schools. This gives students an opportunity to engage and gain knowledge through co-curricular activities. However, various factors can hinder the involvement of co-curricular activities in boys and girls, especially sports. This statement is supported by a study conducted by Muhammad Suzli, 1997, who stated that students are not involved because they have to help their parents at home. Therefore, this study also seeks to determine whether there are differences between the factors that inhibit their participation by gender. So, as a conclusion, this policy have a pros and cons to the students around school, around kindergarten, and so on. I think, for my opinion, one student, one sport policy is really important to students to help the student becoming more healthy and engaged or participating in the positive things, positive activities. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. So my name is Muhammad Arif Najan bin Muhammad Nizam. I want to talk about recommendation, how to improve national sport policy, one student, one sport. So one sport, one student program is a very important to make sure the Malaysian sport policy became successful. Malaysian government has looked sport as a good opportunity to standing high with other country and make sport as a job and career for Malaysian. We can see a a lot of example. Our national athlete with high paid, they become rich and famous, not just individually, but also they bring our national brand into the international level. So with this program, all of the citizens from young to old can take this opportunity to stay healthy and active. Malaysia to become the active country. So to make this program successful, government and all of sports event organizer, especially for me, they need to offer the good reward to all the participants, such as a prize like money, and also if they win and has a potential, they need to have a chance to be a professional athlete with training and also equipment, so we can produce very good athlete. And also this can motivate the young generation and also all of Malaysian to look at sport as a one of opportunity to have a career, have a job, and mostly sports now give the high paid, high salary for the athlete with allowance. So I think Malaysian really need to help the government to make sport as one of the important industry. Next, how to improve, and my recommendation is organize the big sport event with collaboration from media. For example, in Terengganu State, government was held every year the marathon that called Sultan Mahmud Bridge Run. This is a very good event that attract all of community level and even was participated by foreigner. There are some categories such as under 12 school category open for all of students under 12 around Malaysia, for entire Malaysia, and also under 18 student open for secondary school. And the most special and unique is international category. Usually international category was joined by participants from Kenya, Nigeria, and other countries. So this big events was shown the news, and almost entire Malaysia know about this event. So I hope the event like this shown at the television, at the paper, because if the sport event has a media coverage, so the citizens will interest to join it and want to be at the television, at the paper, because not all of Malaysian was shown at the television, so they will feel special if they was shown at television. So that's why I said one of the ways to improve the participants, the recommendation for to improve this and to make this policy successful, we need to have a collaboration with media. So for the conclusion, one of the objective of this policy is to get students involved at least one sport throughout the year, with the hope that all of students, including bookworms, computer gamers, and couch potatoes, will get out of their comfort zone to be active physically. In addition, with this involvement, new talents will be discovered.
Okay, that's all from us. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.